I'm not going to read them. If she wants to read them, she can read them, but that's 100% up to her. So having said that, anything else we need to do before sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so with that, court read the PSI, read the letters in support of the defendant, heard from every single member of the family wanted to speak to me with regard to Ms. Thompson. With that, I'm sorry, with the decedent, Kayla. Having said that, and having watched the trial and having watched the jury's reactions to each individual thing that was placed in evidence, and having watched the witnesses testify as to what they testified to, it's interesting that I note that the defendant was in the beauty business, and the beauty business is what led the police to the defendant through the DNA sample that was found underneath the fingernail of the victim. With that, I also understand I have no discretion whatsoever, nor would I want any discretion whatsoever with regard to this particular case. I do believe the defendant needs to go to prison. I do believe the defendant's, in this particular situation's crime was heinous in the way she tracked down, located, showed up, and then killed Ms. Thompson. With that, the court does sentence Ms. Thompson to adjudicated guilty sentence to life in prison. Under Florida's criminal punishment code, that's without parole. And she will serve the remainder of her life in prison. And anything else?
In order of restitution,
Total order reserve restitution, the outstanding court costs will be a civil lien. With that, anything further with regard to the defendant?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, Ms. Thompson, you have 30 days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will represent you, and I will make the pre-sentence investigation letters and the information that was presented to me a part of the court proceedings. Thank you very much, and our business is concluded for the day.
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, Ms. Thompson, you have 30 days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will represent you, and I will make the pre-sentence investigation letters and the information that was presented to me a part of the court proceedings. Thank you very much, and our business is concluded for the day.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Kol holayim la, Albanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat, Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. Proverbs 16 verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And that's one thing that's greatly placed upon these people in Babylon the Great is that pride demon. A lot of people have pride in themselves and what they do, and they truly believe that they're never going to have to answer or receive a recompense, okay, for the work of their hands and the error of their ways, man. Okay, and we know and we see that these women are very, very prideful, man. Okay, very prideful because there's no accountability, there's no chastisement, there's no reprove, no rebuke, no anything when it comes to a woman, man. But now, you know, in these last days and all hell about to break loose, man, you're starting to see that nurturing and a smack on the hand, a smack on the hand, so like it being taken away from especially these women, man. And furthermore, we know, us of the hopeful elect of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, we know that this woman's supposed to be executed. She's not supposed to receive no goddamn life in prison, life in jail. Okay, whether it be the penitentiary or the feds. You know, Esau's judgments are completely unruly, okay, unbalanced, and just off, okay? Okay, but this woman, she literally flew across the country to execute her ex-girlfriend's new girlfriend. Again, she flew across the country to execute her ex-girlfriend's new girlfriend. So this is a portion of woman having a jealous spirit on her and also having demons on her, man. Okay, because a woman is not supposed to be with a woman and a man's not supposed to be with a man. How are those two people going to reproduce? The Lord didn't make it like that. Okay, but let's grab a precept. Let's grab another precept. This is Romans chapter 1, and I'm going to read verse 26. For this cause the Most High gave them up onto vile affections, and that's what this is a vile affection, man. For Salakia. For you to conduct yourself in this type of manner and to really think that there's nothing wrong with this. You know, because this is Babylon the Great. You know, all these captivities rolled in one. Because, you know, Esau, he's a culture vulture, so he's taken all these old ancient kingdoms and rolled them all into one, man. And you know, Egypt and Sodom and Gomorrah being one of them, man. This place is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? So this is Romans chapter 1 verse 26 in the GNT. Because they do this, the Most High has given them over to shameful passions. Even the women pervert the natural use of their sex by unnatural acts. Okay, because it's not natural, again, for a woman to be laid up with a woman. Okay, they can't reproduce. Okay, the only way they're getting penetrated is if they go get a manufactured, you know, a man reproductive organ, man. And then on top of that, if you're doing that, you're not really, you know, a carpet muncher. Let's just say it like that. Well, you know, of that group. Okay, you just have a hate for men. You have what is called penis envy. And also, too, the main source is you have demons on you, man. Okay, but again, Romans 1 verse 26. Because they do this, the Most High has given them over to shameful passions. Even the women pervert the natural use of their sex by natural objects. And I'm going to jump back to the KJV. It's Romans 1 verse 26. For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. Okay, vile, disgusting, abominable, filthy, perverse. Okay? For even their woman did change the natural use into that which is against nature, because this is not nature. This is wicked, man. Okay, so already having demons on you, already, you know, having pleasure and delight in the customs and philosophies of this world, and you having jealousy just completely off, the broad flies across the country just to go execute her ex-girlfriend's new girlfriend. Because it's all, let's grab the jealousy precept real quick. Let's go there real quick. Salakia. This is Sirach. And at the end of the day, too, we know this is Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? This is the Lord manifesting this, man. Matter of fact, before we grab the jealousy, let's grab that. You know, it's the Lord controls everything. The Lord brings forth death. The Lord brings forth life. The Lord brings forth sicknesses, etc., man. Okay? So, you know, it was jacked up. It was messed up. And, you know, obviously this woman, you can see she has no emotions. Hearing the judge saying you got to spend the rest of your life behind bars. And, you know, and being told what she did, there was no emotions, no expression, just, you know, nothing. Just empty. Like, I can't believe this motherfucker. You know, just look at her face. You can tell she does not feel sorry for what she did. And she, you know, she looked like she want to say something to the judge for even saying that she got to serve life. But this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, Yahweh, even I am He, and there was no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say I live forever. So the Lord brought forth this judgment. Okay, the Lord, you know, as we just read, the Lord kills, he brings forth life, he wounds, he heals, man. So when you're wounded, and if you know you're sick or anything like that, the Lord ordained that. The Lord brought forth that, man. Okay, it's not a coincidence. It's not because you being outside and you didn't have the proper attire to keep you warm or something that you ate. No, the Lord brought it upon you, man. Okay? Just to prove the point. Which, you know, there's other precepts too, but I want to keep it short and sweet. This is Sirach. Let's get this jealousy thing. Sirach chapter 26. I like it. Sirach chapter 26, verse 6. But a grief of heart. Okay? And the heart goes into your mind. Okay, and this place brings a lot of grief into your mind, man. Just everything about this place is oppressive, vexing. Okay, completely plagues your mind. Everything about this place plagues your mind, man. Okay, it's nothing but frustration every day you're here in Babylon the Great, man. Okay, but a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. And that's what she was. She was jealous over another woman. Now, in this aspect, it's just completely wicked. It's off. And it's just like, but it also shows you that, you know, the mindset of women in general, that they're emotional creatures. Okay. They don't know how to logically evaluate and process things when they first occur. They run and go off emotions, and then by the time they make the decision that they made, whether it be a week, months, or years later on down the line, then they realize through logic where they went off. Because again, as we read prior in the beginning of the lesson, it's pride. Okay, because again, these women in America, aka Babylon the Great, they don't get checked. They don't get you know, told to have accountability or called out. They don't get chastised. They don't get reproved or rebuked, Salakia. So with them not having that placed upon them like men, because a man is always getting chastised, reproved, rebuked, called out, etc. But a woman is looked at, you know, in this society as delicate, they're innocent, etc. Okay? But all that shit is nonsense. Okay? So again, Sirach 26 verse 26. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. And that, you know, in this concept is really supposed to be a woman jealous over another woman liking her man. So it's not supposed to be a woman jealous over her woman getting another woman, that shit is off. It's wicked. Okay? Period. And again, the judgment was brought forth and done by the Lord, man. For whatever reason that person got executed, it appeased the Lord, for him to bring forth that declaration of execution upon that woman, man. There's no telling what she did in her prior lives or what she was doing in this life for her to get a judgment like that, man. And even this, this hyena right here, man, for her to literally build up the courage to fly across country out of jealousy and anger and rejection and having your feelings hurt, because that's what it all is with these women, man. Having your feelings hurt and feeling like you belittled and you've been replacing, because these women, regardless if it's in this group or in the actual group they're supposed to be in, which is the natural cause. Women tend to do the best they can do to date up hypergamy. Okay? But let's continue. Because this is exactly what she did, and this is exactly what our people do, man. Because, nobody knows. You just can't take the L. Nobody wants to take no L's, man. And nobody wants to feel embarrassed, belittled, disrespected. Everybody got to get their lick back. This is Romans chapter 3. Verses 15 and 16. Their feet are swift to shed blood, because she was literally, this was premeditated. So in our law, when you premeditate to take somebody out purposely, you're supposed to be executed expeditiously. Okay? Period, man. Okay, especially when there are one or two or more, two or more witnesses in the midst of that, it's supposed to be done by the revenger of blood. Okay, because she was quick and swift after she premeditated this to go do what she did, man. All right, their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their way. So she was literally, instead of her, well, she might have, I don't know. Instead of her, dealing with it and, just moving on with life, she wanted to bring forth destruction and misery, because what's that saying in the world? Misery loves company. So she wanted to bring forth destruction, misery to her ex-girlfriend by taking out her new girlfriend, making her feel how she felt when she left her. When she rejected her and wouldn't take her back, whatever the case may be, which is nonsense, man. This place has got to go, man. Real talk. This place has got to go, man. Okay? Period, man. So, because that's all these people in America, aka Babylon, know is destruction and misery. Because that's all this place gives you is destruction and misery. So you want everybody else to be miserable with you. Okay? Let's close out. The point is made, man. The point is made. And again, all this is ordained and brought forth by and from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16. And I'm going to read verses 13 to 15. For thou hast power of life and death, as we just read prior in Deuteronomy 32, verse 39. Okay? Wisdom of Solomon 16, verse 13. For thou hast power of life and death. Thou leadest to the gates of hell and bringest up again. So the Lord will, obviously bring forth your judgment to call you back into the spiritual realm. Okay, and you'll be in the ground, so like you'll be because hell is a condition in the grave. So you'll be put in the grave, and the Lord does bring a hellish conditions upon people, and especially upon Jake, because this is our judgment to be in this hellish nightmare condition. Okay, and again, bring us up again, bring forth life. Okay, every two to four generations you come back to play out your judgment. Verse 14, a man, or a woman, indeed killeth through his malice. And what does that word malice mean? What does that word malice mean? Let's look up that word malice real quick. Salakia. Let's look up that word malice. Okay. See if we can find that real quick. Let's look up that word malice. Come on, man. God damn. Phew. Where is that? Salaki, I just had it. Okay, Salaki, here it is. Okay, malice. I'm in the blue letter, so we're gonna see real quick malice. Where is it? G2549. It says wickedness. Wickedness that is not ashamed to break laws, evil, trouble. Okay, listen. Because obviously she was not afraid to break a law. She was not afraid to take a life. Okay. It says ill will, desire to injure, wickedness. Wickedness that is not ashamed to break laws, evil, trouble. And that's what this was, man. Okay, so again, Wisdom of Solomon 16 verse 14, a man indeed killeth through his malice, and the spirit when it is gone forth, okay, when it's gone out the body, returneth not. Okay, because again, the Lord ordained for it to happen. Okay, so all the CPR and things you try to do here, you can't. Once that spirit is gone out the body, it's a wrap. It is what it is. Okay. Neither the soul returneth up, cometh again. But it is impossible to escape thine hands. So it's impossible to escape the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? And that's what this was. Even though the situation and what was going on is just crazy, but hey, man, it's only going to get worse in these days to come, man. All right? Perilous times. We are in perilous times, man. And literally surrounded by the mist of snares. All right, so I don't want to rot this out, man. I hope and I pray that this was edifying, uplifting, and informative to the truth and Aki and Wa Akwaf. So with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom.